Oogie Boogie Bash is the best event to see rare Disney characters. Today, we'll look at some of the rarest that have appeared at this event and rank them. There are 3 categories: rare, never before seen, and once in a blue moon. Stay until the end to see which is the rarest character to have appeared at Disney parks and to see our predictions for this year's event. Rare. We know that most of the characters that appear at the event are rare, so for this category, we chose the rarest of them all. That includes characters that we rarely get to see, as meet and greets, or characters that have never been common. Oogie Boogie. Oogie is the star of the show and the reason why we are all there, so of course he has to make an appearance during the event. Before Oogie Boogie Bash was created back in 2019, Oogie was such a rare character. He has made very sporadic appearances at the parks, with one of the first being the Unleash the Villains event back in 2013 at Disney World and Villains Unleashed in 2014. That year, Oogie had his own show, the Oogie Boogie Freaky Funhouse Show, featuring sword swallowing, crossbow tricks, and an acrobatic fire routine. He has also had an important role since 2015 when the Hocus Pocus Villain Spelltacular opened. That same year, he was added to the Boo to You parade in the Villains A-Go-Go float. He has had some meet and greets here and there, but it was always very difficult to get up close and personal with this character, until 2019, when he decided to throw his own Halloween party at California Adventure, after not being invited to Mickey's Halloween party at Disneyland. He cast a spell over DCA and invited his villain friends to come along. And we're thankful for that because he gave us so many great meet and greets. As for Oogie, he took over the animation building, hosting his own unique treat trail. Here you get to see him and say hi. And while this is not a meet and greet per se, you can get pretty close to him and take pictures and say hi. This puts Oogie in the rare category. He is still a rare character, but you can count on him taking over the park and appearing every year during the event. The Blue Fairy. The Blue Fairy might not be a villain, but we couldn't leave her out of this video. While she has had many appearances at parades and some shows, we hardly ever see her out meeting guests. She used to appear in the Main Street Electrical Parade, but her float was sadly removed. But she's still in the Tokyo Disneyland Electrical Parade Dreamlights. She also appeared in the 2003 Share a Dream Come True Parade at the Magic Kingdom, and at the Tokyo Disneyland Jubilation Parade, and at shows like the Disney's Dreams, an Enchanted Classic stage show that we can find on board the Disney Magic and the Disney Wonder Cruises. But again, that's shows and parades. Her few appearances at the parks make her a hugely rare character. She appeared at Disneyland Paris in 2012, then at the Holiday Fantasy Christmas Party in 2014, and also had a surprise meet and greet at Disneyland in 2018. And earlier this year, she helped unveil a window for Disney legend Dave Smith at Main Street in Disneyland. Back in 2019, guests met the Blue Fairy along with Pinocchio at Carthy Circle. This was such a treat, and we would love to see her again. These few meet and greets put the Blue Fairy in the rare category. Hopefully, she comes back to the event someday. Kingdom Hearts characters. We can all agree that we want to see more Kingdom Hearts characters at the parks. They have had very few appearances before. Their first appearance was back in 2004 when they greeted guests during the not-so-scary Halloween party at Walt Disney World. During this event, guests could meet Donald, Goofy, and even Sora, who was holding a life-size Keyblade. And we're so sad to say this is probably one of the only times where guests were able to meet Sora. Thankfully, Donald and Goofy returned. First during Japan's 2013 D23, where they presented the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer to attendees. Then in 2017, during a cast member appreciation event in Orlando. Also, in the 2018 DVC Moonlight Magic event at Disneyland. Then in 2019, during the first Oogie Boogie Bash, we were able to see them again. Guests could meet them in Grizzly Falls at an area called Friends from Kingdom Hearts. It would be amazing to be able to see them again, but honestly, they are super rare. That's why they fall under the rare category in this video. Hopefully they will return and have Sora and King Mickey along with them. Ichabod Crane and the Headless Horseman. The Headless Horseman has become a staple of Halloween at Disney parks, appearing first at Mickey's Not-So-Scary Halloween Party, leading the Boo to You parade. Then at Hong Kong Disneyland, he hosted the 2011 Halloween festivities, leading the Halloween parade and starring in a new haunted maze in Adventureland called The Revenge of the Headless Horseman. But he didn't appear at Disneyland until 2016, when it was announced that he would lead the Frightfully Fun parade. This new addition to the parade was amazing, but it was deemed too scary for some guests. So the following year, it was slightly modified so that it seemed a bit friendlier. This new appearance came with a fantastic extra. Just before the arrival of the Horseman, we could see Ichabod Crane walking, holding a lamp and looking around for the Horseman. A statue of the Horseman has also become a central figure of California Adventure during Halloween time. There's also the Return to Sleepy Hollow special event, where guests enjoyed a group viewing of the film The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, inside Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground historic Tri-Circle D Ranch stables. After that, guests could experience an up-close and personal encounter with none other than the Headless Horseman himself. Of course, we would love to see these two characters more often as meet and greets, and not only during the parades. But because we can count on them leading the Halloween parades each year, at the parks, they get the rare category in this video. Never before seen. This category includes characters that have never been seen before at the parks. They were debuted during Oogie Boogie Bash and have not been seen since. Agatha Harkness. WandaVision is such a fantastic series. It quickly became one of the most popular series in the world back when it came out. One of the best things to come out of this series was definitely Agatha Harkness. Apart from being responsible for the masterpiece that is Agatha all along, she is such a fun and interesting character. So, because this character came into the MCU just last year, Agatha had not had the chance to appear before at the parks. There had been a nod to her back in March of 2021 when her director chair appeared at the WandaVision photo op in California Adventure. This was a hint for what was to come, because this amazing character made her first appearance during Oogie Boogie Bash later that year. Disney released this video, teasing some of the characters we would find during the event, and Agatha was one of them. Agatha could be found in the ancient sanctum at Avengers Campus, where she had her own immersive treat trail. She talked to guests for a bit while her song played over and over in the background. We hope this isn't the last we've seen of her, and probably she will be back. After all, Disney has had the habit of bringing new MCU characters to Avengers Campus whenever we see them in the latest movies or series. And with the Agatha Coven of Darkness series coming up, we'll probably be able to meet Agatha again. Agatha falls under the Never Before Seen category, but hopefully she will be back someday. Sid. What can be said about Sid? He is bratty, rude, and loves to terrorize toys. Well, loved, before the toys gave him quite a scare, and he vowed to never hurt them again. Sid appears in Pixar's most popular film. That's why it's baffling to think that he had never appeared before at Disney parks. He had only appeared before in a show. Aboard the Disney cruise ship Disney Wonder, there was a show called Toy Story the Musical. This show ran from 2008 to 2016. And in it, Sid had a whole number where he sang the Make a Little Noise song. But that was the only live-action appearance of Sid. But again, Disney released this video last year that let us know that he would be coming to Oogie Boogie Bash. Sid also had his own immersive treat trail located at Pixar Pier. He set up his Sid show on the Pixar Pier stage, and it was probably one of the most fun character interactions of the night. Sid falls under the Never Before Seen category, and you might wonder why if he had appeared before in a Disney show. The reason for this is because while he appeared on a Disney cruise, this was the first time he had a meet and greet at the actual parks. Cruella. One of the biggest cinematic surprises of 2021 was Cruella. It was a huge surprise. Audiences gave Cruella a near-perfect rating. The cast, the music, the costumes, everything was great. Cruella was such a success that Disney decided that she had to appear at the parks. It was fantastic to see that Cruella's appearance was confirmed in the Oogie Boogie teaser video. Hers was one of the coolest and most impressive treat trails of all. She could be found in the Hollywoodland area on stage. As you know, the central part of this movie is fashion and design. So it is not surprising at all that Cruella was surrounded by many of the designs across the stage. Some are in progress and some are finished and pretty cool, to be honest. Not only that, but the lighting and background and of course Cruella herself make the experience, the interaction, and the setting unique. Of course, she falls under the Never Before Seen category because this was the first time we saw this character at the parks. But hopefully not the last, since a sequel has already been greenlit, so maybe she'll be back. Once in a Blue Moon. This last category is just one character, and to be honest, it just exists because not only has this character appeared just once, but we are entirely mind-blown that Disney decided to bring him to the parks. Zombie Captain America. The most terrifying character to have ever walked the parks. Zombie Cap. Last year, the animated series What If came out. In the series, there was an episode inspired by the Marvel Zombies comic. In this episode, most of the world's population is turned into zombies, including some of our favorite heroes like Captain America. The character was debuted in Oogie Boogie Bash the night of October 17th, 2021, and appeared at the event every night after that. He was seen in Avengers Campus terrifying guests that caught a glimpse of him. The character's design is so cool and terrifying simultaneously. And paired with how he moves and the sound effects around him, it was such a scary and imposing experience. This is probably the scariest character that ever existed at a Disney park, and we love that Disney decided to take a chance and bring him in to pose for pictures with guests. We would love to see more of these types of characters at the parks. Just like with Agatha, the Marvel Zombie series is coming out soon. So hopefully Disney will not lose the chance of bringing all of the Marvel Zombies characters to the parks. Not only when the series comes out, but also every year during Halloween time. This year gave us Dead Strange and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, so hopefully Disney will bring him to Oogie Boogie Bash this year. There's a perfect place waiting for him at Ancient Sanctum at Avengers Campus. Predictions. We asked the Duck Squad, and these are some of your predictions. Also, as many of you know, Disney released this trailer teasing the new character. After much speculation, we're all pretty sure that this year, Madam Mim and Mother Gothel are coming to the parks for the first time. As for our predictions, we strongly believe that Oogie Boogie Bash will give us many characters that appeared during this year's Villains Night. You can find which characters were featured in that event here. Hopefully, we'll see some of them this year at Oogie Boogie Bash.